witness in Willow Creek to do. Eleanor checked the peephole anyway, then opened the door wide. Karen stood on the welcome mat in the red sundress, the one with the thin straps and the hem that fluttered against mid-thigh. Her hair was down for once, soft waves instead of the usual severe ponytail. She held a bottle of Veuve Clicquot in both hands like a peace offering, knuckles white. "You're early," Eleanor said, sounding pleased. "I like punctuality." Karen stepped inside without being asked. The door shut behind her with the decisive click of a judge's gavel. The house smelled like gardenias and something darker, sandalwood, maybe, or the scent of absolute power. The foyer light was dimmed low, only the staircase was lit, a runway of golden bulbs leading up. "Living room's this way," Eleanor murmured, but she didn't move. She let Karen stand there a moment, close enough to see the faint tremor in the younger woman's collarbone. Finally Eleanor reached out and took the bottle. Her fingers brushed Karen's as she did, deliberate and cool. "Cold," she observed. "Good girl." Karen's breath hitched at the phrase. She hated how it landed low in her stomach, warm and mortifying. Eleanor turned and walked away, hips swaying just enough under her cream silk wrap dress. Karen followed like someone on a leash she hadn't agreed to wear. In the living room the furniture had been rearranged. The coffee table was pushed back. A single armchair, Eleanor's favorite, high-backed and upholstered in deep green velvet, sat in the center of the rug like a throne. Two crystal flutes waited on a silver tray. "Sit," Eleanor said, gesturing not to the sofa but to the ottoman directly in front of the chair. Karen lowered herself onto the low stool. The dress rode higher on her thighs, she started to tug it down, then stopped when Eleanor's eyebrow arched. Eleanor poured. The Prosecco hissed and foamed. She handed Karen a glass, then took her own and settled into the armchair, crossing her legs with regal slowness. Silence stretched. Somewhere in the walls the air conditioning clicked on, cool air sliding across Karen's bare shoulders. "Tell me," Eleanor said at last, voice velvet and steel, "why you're here." Karen opened her mouth. Closed it. The bubbles in her glass trembled. "Because I violated the covenants," she said finally, barely above a whisper. "Multiple times. And you could ruin me for it?" Eleanor sipped, watching over the rim. "That's the reason you're in my house. It's not why you're wearing that dress." Karen's cheeks burned. "Because you told me to. And you obeyed." Eleanor let the words linger. "Do you know how rare that is around here? People nod and smile and then repaint their mailboxes the wrong shade of beige the minute my back is turned. But you." She leaned forward, elbows on her knees, bringing their faces close. "You listened." Karen's pulse thudded in her throat. She could smell Eleanor's perfume, something expensive and faintly wicked. "Finish your drink," Eleanor said softly. Karen did, one long swallow that left her lightheaded. Eleanor took the empty flute and set it aside. Then she reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind Karen's ear, fingertips lingering against her cheek. "Stand up." Karen rose on shaky legs. "Turn around." She did, slowly. The back of the dress dipped low, she felt Eleanor's gaze like a hand sliding down her spine. "Beautiful," Eleanor murmured. All that fire wrapped in apology. "Now come here." Karen turned back. Eleanor opened her knees just enough to indicate the space between them. Karen stepped into it without thinking, close enough that the silk of Eleanor's dress brushed her bare knees. Eleanor looked up at her calm, proprietary, utterly in control. "Tomorrow," she said, you'll file the proper forms for your door color. You'll drain that ridiculous pond. And you'll install blackout curtains in every room that faces my house. Because from now on, if I want to look at you, I'll do it when you're invited. Not because some telescope gave me an accidental peek. Karen nodded, throat dry. But tonight, Eleanor continued, voice dropping to a purr, you're going to kneel right here and convince me very thoroughly that you've learned who makes the rules in Willow Creek. She didn't move to touch Karen yet. She didn't have to. The command was in the air, thick as the gardenia scent. Karen's knees folded almost on their own. The rug was soft beneath them. Above her, Eleanor smiled like a queen accepting tribute. Outside, the cul-de-sac slept under its identical streetlights, unaware that its balance of power had just shifted forever on a single green velvet throne. And somewhere upstairs, the telescope gathered dust entirely unnecessary now.